Heroes back.
Generation 1 Impactor, the founder and very first leader of the Wreckers. Introduced in the Marvel Comics and further popularized through IDW. It only took until 2019 for him to get an original toy. The first Impactor figure was the Fall of Cybertron retool of Onslaught, though that's the Align continuity, not G1. Then there was the subscription service retool of Combiner Wars Rook, though to be fair, that mold's awesome. Still, third time's the charm, right? Alongside Mirage, Impactor won a 2018 fan poll for a rivalry within Siege. The two were sold both separately and in a 3-pack with Power Dasher Aragon. This is the solo release, and while there are differences from the 3-pack version, it's less apparent in vehicle mode. Whatever Impactor was in Marvel or IDW, Siege's take on the Wrecker is a tank. Since the toy line is set during the war on Cybertron, no duh, there is a supposed emphasis on Cybertronian alternate modes. Yet this and several other Siege vehicles feel more like futuristic Earth designs than outright alien. Make no mistake, it's really cool looking, and appropriately combat oriented for the Wreckers. But this still comes off as a modified Earth tank, with Impactor's shoulder cannon mounted on the main turret, and 2 sets of treads on each side, similar to Siege Megatron, instead of one continuous track. Another running theme is the grittiness and dark reality of war conveyed through battle-damaged paint apps. I know some find them distracting, but considering the entire Transformers franchise is centered on wars, it makes sense. Also, Siege spares no expense when it comes to sculpted details, Impactor included, going so far as to work in double-barrel mini-turrets, as if he wasn't loaded already, on top of these mine-clearing blades. I assume that's what they are. Impactor rolls on 4 plastic wheels underneath the treads. The main turret rotates a full 360, plus the gun barrel pivots up and down. And now for the biggest and best line-wide feature. The combat system. In short, both the figures and accessories are covered in 5mm posts and peg holes, resulting in countless interchangeable weapon combinations and ways of wielding such armament. And that's not getting into the deluxe weaponizers, but that's its own video. Discounting his arsenal, Impactor has 2 of these posts and 17 peg holes total, though not all of them are accessible in each mode. There's another gimmick tied to the combat system, but it's easier to showcase in Despite being an IDW fan favorite, Siege Impactor's robot mode is based more on the Marvel design. Not just with the head, but the chest, kneecaps, and feet don't protrude as much as on the IDW model. Also, in keeping with the Marvel comics, the figure's mostly solid purple, orange-yellow, and grey. Paint-wise, you have the red optics, the rest of the face is picked out in silver, plus the chest squares, shins, and part of the abdomen are done in various yellows. Accuracy aside, the purple and orange-yellow combo is a very hazardous and toxic color scheme. Of course it fits the deadly Wrecker leader. Sadly, the Centurion-style head, though well sculpted, is cast in purple, with the helmet thinly coated in yellow paint. You can see the plastic color bleeding through. Same goes for those chest squares. Not the best look. The 3-pack version, released as a Decepticon, is changed to reflect his IDW portrayal. The head sculpt is a slightly different take on the Centurion design. The kneecaps have red highlights. The yellow paint is apparently brighter. There's silver paint apps mid-torso where there were none before, and the upper body sports several pre-war mining hazard stripes. There's less battle damage on that version, and Impactor's signature shoulder cannon is now more purple than yellow. YouTuber Primal Sabbath actually showcases both versions side by side if you want to check out his review. Siege Impactor has 22 points of articulation. Only the neck is ball-jointed. Everything else is either a swivel, hinge, or in the case of inward-outward hip movement, ratchets. The result is a fairly posable yet sturdy figure, save for the lower legs which don't actually peg into place. The idea is that A. they rest inside the armoured plating, and B. the outer blade on each leg sits in a groove within the heel spurs, securing them, in theory, providing the ankles are tilted accordingly. Honestly, a tab and slot would have been enough. I'm also not a fan of how hollow the lower legs are, especially since it's not a cavity for the thighs to collapse in for the transformation, where it would at least be understandable, if no less ugly. Impactor comes with the Trilithium drill, along with the HP Energy Mine Blaster rifle formed from the tank's gun barrel. They have a combined total of 5 5mm posts and 2 of those same-sized ports. The hands can rotate and stow away, revealing peg holes for the drill, in reference to Impactor's other signature weapon, the harpoon. Finally, including the arsenal, there are 12 3mm posts for the Fire Blast effects parts supplied with the Siege Battlemasters, Jetfire, and Omega Supreme. Said parts are designed to simulate gunfire, characters being shot, smashed, slashed, or on certain vehicles, emit exhaust flames / rocket boosters. Again, some of these pegs are hidden in alt mode. The only time I recall the franchise doing something like this is with the movie Protoform figures, but Siege brings it back in style and I love it. After 33 years, G1 Impactor finally gets the mainline toy I'm sure many fans had dreamed of. And while flaws in both modes, such as the iffy leg stability, drag him down a little bit, his dynamic design and full embracement of the line's combat system make him more than worthy of a gold in my book.